Can you tell me a little bit of the history of your coming to be music director here at St. Mary?
Well, I was hired to be music director in November of 2000, so I've been doing that job for 17 years. But my husband and I and our family have been in the parish since 1992 when my husband became Catholic. He went through RCIA here in this parish, even though we didn't live here, because he was a little self-conscious going through it in the parish where we lived. And I was working at an entirely different parish. So he came here, went through RCIA, and he loved it here. And so I decided the new Catholic ought to get to decide. So that's how we ended up.
The parish was started in 1978 in August. And one year, I think it was maybe a year or so later, they asked for members to come and join the choir for Christmas because they would like to have a larger group at Christmas time. So I thought that might be a nice idea. I had been in choirs before and I love the music at the holidays. So I joined and that's it. I've been here ever since.
It was different because it was different than other churches. I grew up in Mundelein at Santa Maria. And actually I went to school there, grade school there, but this was different with the much smaller and again using the chairs at that time because it was multi-purpose. But it was nice. I don't know. It was nice. It was very it was more neighborly than it seemed at other churches at times. I guess more welcoming. Father John did a very good job of showing that and leading the people of the church as being that way.
I started like the year that the youth choir became a thing. Before there was no musical group for young people. So I believe that was 3rd grade. And the youth choir goes up from 3rd grade to 8th grade, I believe. We have a teen choir. So basically, I've been singing here at this parish since I was like 8 or 9 and up through my high school years. And now I've come back. I'm
an instrumentalist in the choir. I'm a guitarist. And I started playing guitar probably when I was about 10, 12, something like that. And just took piano lessons too at the same time. And through high school, they started a theory class and that got me more involved with music. And after high school, I went to school in Chicago and took some theory classes down there and 2 or 3 years theory, counterpoint, harmony. And so I'm not a singer, I'm a player. And so I've always been behind the singers.
When I was in high school and they were putting on a play at our church, so a group of my friends and myself went down to be in the show. And after that, it was very easy to continue to sing and be a part of music at church.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
And can you tell me about your family, your children?
I have 5 children, and I have a lot of grandchildren too now, and one on the way.
Wow.
Yes, due in December, so that's kind of exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a big family. I have 2 girls and 3 boys. My oldest is 37, and my youngest is 20. So we have kind of a big spread in ages too. So we love our big family.
I have 3 daughters and 7 grandchildren. And my husband was a Eucharistic minister and also the head usher for a number of years. Right now he is ill and he hasn't been able to partake of a lot of things, but you know, that comes with life.
Married, my wife Janie Ann just joined the choir. We have 2 children. Our son Roy, different middle name, is living out in California now. And then our daughter lives up in the McHenry, Sarah, and she's roughly 30, about 4 years apart.
And how long have you been married?
10 years.
10.
Beautiful years.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And how long have you been members here?
Over 30 years. Yeah.
Oh, so have you
yeah.
known each other for a long time, or?
We have.
Okay.
We have. After I joined this parish, I met John in choir.
Yeah, I was already here.
Yeah.
I've been into choir for over 30 years. Yeah, interview me when I was 20 and tell me that was going to be my answer. No, I had no clue.
Can you tell me some of the challenges you have as being an adult choir director as well as a children choir director?
Well, it's always trying to balance your life. I think that's true for anyone, no matter what your field is. So balancing between work and home life, and when you work for the church, between your own personal spirituality and giving time for God here at the parish, dealing with people is always a challenge. But we have very many wonderful people here at St. Mary Vernon and a lot of long-standing choir members. So that's very enjoyable, but also a challenge because they are so committed. So it kind of challenges me to be equally committed. As far as the children, I love working with the kids. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes parents can be a challenge because they don't always understand what's best for their children's voices and so on. And in this day and age, let's face it, as far as working in the church where children are concerned, you just need to have a different mindset. You need to always be very sensitive to parents' concerns regarding their children, just in a different way than it was when I was growing up. So that's always another layer of stress and concern. But I just love working with the kids. I love their enthusiasm for what they're doing, and they catch your enthusiasm right away. They also learn so much more quickly than adults. They will learn a whole mass worth of music in one rehearsal. It's amazing.
They're sponges, aren't they?
They really are. They really are.
Christ the Paschal Lamb, slain for hallelujah. Feast with joy in the Lord, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
What is your favorite part about being in the choir?
For me, it's playing. I mean, it's playing, and I do like writing music for the choir. But the camaraderie with these guys it's a lot of fun. There's nothing in church like choir.
I really love being able to use music and like a talent that God has given me to contribute to Mass every week and hopefully to inspire or move people in the congregation who might otherwise miss out on something if they, like for example, like if there wasn't like a song for a specific part of the Mass, because I know some churches don't have as much musical content or like a smaller, I guess.
The choir is like a family. I mean, they're there for good times and bad times, and you get to know the people, especially the ones that you're singing around and with in your group. I sing descant, so there's about 5 or 6 of us that we've become really good friends, and not necessarily going outside of church, but inside of church, and we're always there for each other. And I really enjoy it. Some of them have wonderful voices. I don't have a voice like they do, it doesn't carry so much, but I think I can blend with them. And so that's why I enjoy it. I enjoy the camaraderie, and we do have a good time.
I enjoy the people and it's a family. I think that's a word that's used a lot with it, but I think it really is. Whenever anybody's having any problems or anything, that everybody is there physically and spiritually and in prayer and supporting people. I mean, it's a combination of things. I like to sing. I was in choir in high school and things like that, and I've always liked to sing, so it's nice to do that. It's really nice to feel like you're adding something and maybe helping somebody somewhere. So it feels good to know that you're doing something that people appreciate.
I really love being a member of this group. And of course, it's because of so many years, it's bound to change its face. I feel very blessed that I've been able to be with some of the people I've been with for many years. The connections, the friendships. It surprised me to learn of people and their different expressions of their faith, of the way they shared it. Different ways, sometimes very different from each other.
I am the shepherd, says the Lord. I know my sheep, they know me. They know me. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Come, Holy Spirit, fill our hearts. Kindle the fire of your love. Fire of love. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
As far as your adult choir, what is the age range, and how do your rehearsals work, and what's the schedule like?
Okay, well, we have choir at our parish at every Mass on the weekend. So that's, not every parish does that.
Right.
So our age range is from young adults up through senior citizens. So we do not require that anybody quit at a certain age. We don't have auditions either. We just invite people to come, and we will find a place for them. So that, it's a good thing. We really look at ourselves as a Christian community, and we want to be welcoming. So we try to work at that. Now, we have a limited space, so I suppose maybe someday I might have to think of a different way to handle things, but for now, it works okay. So we all rehearse together. So there are about 35 to 40 of us at any one time, all in choir, including the instrumentalists and the singers. So we rehearse together, and then on the weekend, we divide up between the 4 masses. So there's 1 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. So we let people choose which they want to come to. The cantors are assigned, but it can change from week to week. So they can let me know what their schedule will allow, and they don't have to be dedicated to one Mass all the time if they don't want to. So there's a lot of flexibility, which I think helps people stay with it because it can fit into their life.
I think I would have missed out on the people that I know that are in the choir. They are a diverse group with all kinds of talent that I admire. And I just feel that, and I like to sing anyway, I think that's what I would have missed out, is knowing the people that are in the choir.
A lot of them remember me from when I was little, so they've kind of like seen me progress through the ranks. I wasn't doing the adult choir while I was at college, and like when I came back, they welcomed me back really warmly, and it was really lovely. Everyone's super.
have you found that there are many choir members that also volunteer in other areas of the church, or?
Absolutely.
I've found that a lot.
There's a reason
talk
that
about
cliche preaching to the choir exists, because your choir members usually have an active faith life, and their faith life calls them to service. And so we have people who work in service to the poor. They might help out in our Sharing Hands ministry, which provides it's not a soup kitchen, but like a pantry where families can come who are in need and basically shop for their groceries that they need on a weekly basis. They can get clothing for their children or special needs at certain times of year. We have gift baskets and so on. So we have people who are involved in that. We have people who are ministers of care who might go visit the hospitals and bring the Eucharist. We have people who go above and beyond in terms of like singing for funerals or singing in the nursing homes for special Holy Day Masses that one of the priests might be having there at a nursing home. We have some of our members who will go and sing for something like that. So there are people involved. We were talking earlier about the fact that our parish is really a nature preserve as well. We own quite a large area of grounds here, and one of our members is very, very dedicated to ecological concerns, and that includes here, labeling the native plantings and working the grounds. We have people here who work the grounds as part of their donation to the parish. So that's all part of what our choir members are known to do. Also, in terms of prayer for others and service through prayer, I think our choir really spends a lot of energy doing that as a group, but also smaller groups within the large group.
Well, and the music really can touch people,
Yes.
in their hearts and their souls, when sometimes the word isn't making it all the way through.
And
know what
also,
I mean?
and also when you have to keep in mind that sometimes when you're doing something, a song that you have done how many times, that there's somebody out there that means something to them. You got to take yourself back a step and say, it could have been played at somebody a wedding or a funeral, and so you really, if you keep that in mind, I think that I'm always conscious of what the congregation, to make them comfortable. It's not about me, And then the same thing happens with composing. Since I don't sing, I'm very, very conscious of range in the music. And because I know that if I was out there, and if it was written for soprano, I'm not comfortable. And that's where Debbie comes in with me, because when I write stuff, since I don't sing, she's the voice of my songs. And also she helps me with, there's things that the singers, she'll look at it as a singer and say there's a lot of quarter notes become eighth notes with the rest. Because for some reason they got to breathe.
Please, honey.
Yeah, but I mean,
Can I breathe?
But it really helps, and it also gives me a chance to hear it come back at me, and it's whether I need to change something, or we talk over words too, and so it's been
So she's your co-writer.
cohort.
Oh yeah, that's a better word.
Cohort. No,
Yeah, just kind of an extra ear.
Yeah, and it helps, since I don't sing.
Absolutely.
Somebody once said to me that your whole career would be different if you could have sang. I was like, yeah, I know. I figured that out, yeah. That's why I'm always in the background playing behind all the singers,
Knowing that in many ways it's encouraged my faith, I think, just because I've noticed how often I really am not sure I know what I'm doing, and I'm cantering and I've got to start the song, and it's now my habit of, after the readings are done, I stop, pray a little bit, try to remember what was said, and try to just ask for a little help in making sure, as we all help lead the people to, to sing and praise. And I come back and after doing that, and people keep saying how wonderful it is. So somebody's doing something, and I don't think it's me.
So many graces.
So
many graces, and you're giving back to the church. You're giving back to God. You're
yeah,
volunteering.
it feels. Face it, it feels good. I mean, that's not the only reason for doing it, but I mean, it does. It's a nice benefit.
He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. Hallelujah, forever. Why did he come? He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. Hallelujah, forever. He came to bring love. He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. Hallelujah, forever. He came to bring love. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. Hallelujah, forever. He came to bring peace. He came down that we may have peace. He came down that we may have peace. He came down that we may have peace. Hallelujah, forever. He came to bring joy. He came down that we may have joy. He came down that we may have joy. He came down that we may have joy. Hallelujah, forever. He came to bring life. He came down that we may have life. He came down that we may have life. He came down that we may have life. Hallelujah, forever. He came to bring love. He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. He came down that we may have love. Hallelujah, forevermore. Hallelujah, forevermore. Hallelujah, forevermore.
As someone who's used media a lot in evangelization, so I believe in the importance of Catholic radio, Catholic TV, Catholics using the new media. Can I encourage everyone to watch Shalom TV? I think it's a great vehicle of evangelization. And God bless all of you.
Shalom World, God's own channel.